All right, good afternoon and welcome everybody to the Philly's Key Team at Citywide Keller Williams Philadelphia Small Business Interview Series. My name is Karen, I'm an agent with Philly's Key Team, and I'm very excited to introduce my very good friend and colleague in the event production industry, Dre Ovalle. Today, we're going to talk about his sound and lighting business. We're going to talk about live events. We're going to talk about the effects of COVID, and we're going to have a really good conversation about the entertainment industry. So, Dre, thank you so much for coming on board. How long have you been in business? What got you into event and entertainment?
Well, thank you for having me, first of all. I got into business about 5 years ago. That's when I started taking it very seriously. Before that, I've been in this industry for about half my life. So since I was like 14, 15. And yeah, I didn't start really taking it seriously till 2015. And I got into it through video games, actually. When I was a teenager, I played a lot of music games such as Frequency, Amplitude, Parappa the Rapper, MTV Music Generator, all these games, and that introduced me to the internet. And I was one of the first kids that had the internet in my neighborhood. And from there, I started joining Yahoo chat rooms, and I met rave DJs in the UK. And they started showing me their mixes, how you mix, and then I ended up buying equipment, and I started going to raves. And from there, I just started helping people, set up a light, setting up a speaker, learning how to DJ, whatever. And from there, I got more into the professional side of things, the more, the event industry, the wedding industry, corporate gigs, etc. So it went from video games to the internet, Yahoo chat rooms, to raves, to now this, pretty much. It was a process, pretty much.
That is so interesting, and such a connective progression between how you were introduced to electronic music through video games. That's something that I don't often think about, that is so unique to our generation, about how music is enjoyed by people. But video game music is a big element of it, and you figure there's entire genres like 8-bit and chiptune, for example.
Correct.
Yeah, that use samples to produce entirely new sounds and systems from video game music. So that's such an interesting point that you connect the two together. We actually did a great interview with Chris McGuire at Tubby Robot Ice Cream Factory in Manayunk, and his decor is also entirely inspired by the games that he grew up playing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's really cool how, and through visual arts and through sound, both of you have connected this love of video games with what you do professionally. That is so cool.
And people relate to it. So, they see that, they're like, oh, that's kind of cool. I want to check that out. Or, yeah.
Exactly. And that's so interesting too. So you got into live events through the rave scene. How has that grown and changed for you over the years? Like, how did you go from being the, just the lighting guy at the rave to a business owner?
Well, I started more with DJing, I guess. Lighting is more like a side thing for me. I started DJing raves, I guess, around like 2007 or 8. I had like a whole 4 or 5 years before I actually tried it playing in front of people. And yeah, I started DJing there, and from there I got bored with just mixing electronic music, and I'm like, I want to try mixing other kinds of music. And I got into the wormhole of discovering old, new music, whatever, all kinds of genres. And yeah, I pretty much got bored of mixing electronic music all the time. So I started experimenting, mixing Spanish music, reggae, anything you can imagine, any kind of music you can imagine. And yeah, I started playing at different type of bars, different clubs, and that introduced me to different kinds of people, different kinds of entertaining different kinds of ages, groups of people of ages and ethnicities, and learning how to make a whole dance floor, I guess, move and have a good time when you have so many different cultures and age in one room. Because if you play at a rave or a club, it's mostly young people. It's all, let's say, 21 through 39 or 40. You're kind of limited. You're limited on that age group, and I'm not gonna say it's simple to entertain one age group, but it's more challenging to entertain different ethnicities and cultures and ages. Like, let's say at a wedding or some corporate gig or any type of event, like any high-end event. So that's the big change for me, I guess, going from entertaining young people as, you know, our age group, to entertaining everyone, every age group, every ethnicity, everyone pretty much. That was a big change.
Wow, that's such an interesting in-depth analysis of being a DJ and what you provide as a service, and how you use that engagement with, like, I was stuck on how, you know, you phrased it, making a dance floor move, and how engaging with people of different ages and finding their music and what makes them move, and blending that with the different variety of genres, styles, and times that you can pull music from is fascinating. I know it's definitely good to, you know, I feel like Philly, especially Trenton region, Philly region, and AC, you have such a proliferation of, you know, because we're sort of vacation spots for a lot of the New York population as
Correct.
well.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a lot of, you know, there's a way where being a DJ is both about being a tastemaker and about making audiences more comfortable, which includes providing them with familiar yet novel and entertaining music. For sure. You know, what's your favorite part about being a Trenton local, Philly local, AC local business? Like, tell us more about doing this kind of gig in New Jersey and PA.
I'll tell you the best thing about being a Trenton native. Actually, I've over the years I've noticed that a lot of Philly DJs stick to Philly. They work mostly in Philly and Maryland. A lot of New York DJs, they only work in New York or Boston. And Jersey DJs, South Jersey DJs, they usually stick to AC or Philly, and North Jersey DJs stick to North Jersey and New York. The best thing about being in Trenton is I'm right in the middle of all that. So as a freelance DJ, I work every single state and city I just mentioned: Maryland, Philly, AC, New York. I'm right in between all that, and I literally live 3 blocks from the train station, so I can just hop on the train and go do what I gotta do. So
Nice.
that's, you know, I feel like some people probably look down on that, like, oh, he's just in Trenton, but there's a big benefit to that because it makes transportation easy. I'm right in between every city, every scene, I'm right in the middle of everything going on pretty much. And yeah, that's the beauty of being in a Trenton-based entertainer or DJ.
That's so cool, especially, and you mentioned one of the regional highlights, which is the fact that you can get everywhere so quickly using public transportation. And that's great that you're so close to the train station as well. I've taken I've gone through Trenton many times on rail.
Okay.
And yeah, and that's so cool that, you know, you observe, you know, how the geography of a region affects, you know, what kind of DJs you get, what kind of music you get.
Correct. Yeah.
Being as versatile as you are and being able to travel to these different places affords you more opportunities to do so, which is super cool. So I guess, you know, it's hard not to ask you about this with, you know, the condition that live events are in right now. What has changed for your business with COVID-19, and how have you handled it? It's a loaded question, but, you know, run with it.
It's a great question. Yeah, it's a great question. I feel like it impacted all of us in the sense that it pretty much obliterated all our calendars. Everyone in the mobile business, the club business, the AV business, it just obliterated all of our dates from what, March to now, still pretty much. I'm still getting cancellations for right now, even November. November cancellations are coming in right now. For weddings, for big weddings, pretty much. And in a sense, I've seen a lot of people get creative. I know one thing that streaming now, that's what I'm trying to say. This introduced a lot of us to streaming, and I feel like a lot of us ran with that, and we're using it either to just have fun, to entertain our friends, our family, whatever, or to actually stream and promote, use it as a promotional promotional thing, advertising pretty much. Every time you hop online, people see you do your thing. You're having fun, you're entertaining people, but you're also reminding people that you're still here, you're still doing what you're doing, and you didn't give up yet. So yeah, it introduced a lot of us into streaming, and that, especially me, I got into streaming heavily. Also starting in a small like online record store. I know I have a few other friends that did this too. We all, looked at our entire collection, see how much each record's worth, and then just started selling them online. And for a lot of us, that's been going really good. That's actually what's keeping that roof over our head, pretty much. Right. Till things get back to normal, till we could go back to doing, these big elaborate weddings, corporate gigs and whatnot. So I feel like that was the biggest change out of all of this, seeing who adapted and who just, who's just chilling, waiting for COVID to disappear pretty much.
Right, because it's such an unpredictable thing. I mean, we're seeing the, the spread of it, and there's a lot of specialists that are, trying to model out exactly when we can, say as a country, we can get back to doing what we do. Right. It's definitely being able to adapt to that long-term change is definitely something that can make or break a business right now.
Oh yeah.
I'm so glad to hear that your online record store is also providing you with some income and helping you adapt to the current paradigm, for sure. I think that's where, a lot of life coaches and stuff talk about, people in tough times, people with the right mindset see opportunity. And I think that's
correct. Yeah,
exactly. That's a case study of, so you don't have big weddings to look forward to, but why not get on Twitch? And being able to adapt to that and come up with some additional business models. I think I actually wanted to ask you a bit. We were talking a bit about other business models that you were looking at embracing. And I think we haven't touched on business coaching yet, but you think that there's opportunity for DJ coaches?
Or,
yeah.
So yeah, I want to teach DJs how to freelance, because over the years I've taken a lot of courses over the years, and I noticed there's a missing spot for what I do, I guess, and that's freelancing, making a living off freelancing.
Right.
Every business coach either is there to teach beginners or teaches people how to run a multi-op, which is pretty much having many DJs under you. You send them out and then they work for you. Right. That's totally cool. That's actually the most profitable way to run a business, but that's not the only way. You can also freelance, and with freelancing, it gives you the freedom to make your own, I don't need to explain what freelancing is, but it gives us the ability to take the kind of gigs we want, the kind of gigs we don't want, and offering your niche, I guess, to so many other agencies in the area. And that's something I want to teach other people what to do, because not many people that I know are successful at doing this. And I know there's a gap for this. There's a huge gap for this, where people should learn how to freelance, how to offer them their services to all these different agencies in the area, and how to be successful at it. So I want to teach everything from how to be a good MC, how to, project your voice, how to cater to different ethnicities, nationalities, age groups, bookkeeping, just anything that a freelancer does. That's what I want to teach in this course. And it's going to be a one-on-one course, so I can get an idea of where this person is at and where we can take this person, or where can they go, the next level they can take to reach, that goal they want to achieve, pretty much. So yeah, I want to do one-on-one coaching, so I get a better sense of who they are, what they're capable of, and where they can go with this, pretty much.
Right. That is definitely a very smart point about freelancers and a lot of people not knowing necessarily what to do or how to keep like the correct kind of bookkeeping records or market themselves appropriately to customers. And I think that there's definitely a need for that. In real estate, it's very similar. You can hire a real estate coach to help walk you through your first few transactions, to get you used to doing lead generation and teach you how to use the phone to harvest leads, what to do to organize your time appropriately, etc. So I think that there is definitely a market need for what you ask, what you're providing. Because I think a lot of people, they do want to start out, having a part-time hustle as a DJ, or they really love music and they just want to get started. But, I haven't seen a lot of services. I mean, there's Scratch Academy, but, there aren't a lot of services that provide that sort of one-on-one coaching, less so on the craft, but more on the business side of how to be a DJ. But you are a very, very talented DJ as well. So, any sort of coaching or training with the equipment and stuff is definitely a market opportunity as well. But yeah, like I said, the parallel is very similar. I guess whenever you provide a professional service of some kind, it is good to have an understanding of how to do business with tools and services, for sure. So definitely, what kind of observations have you made about your business? Like, what would you want to share with your coaching clients, for example?
This is I guess a problem I see amongst this industry. There's a lot of togetherness, but there's a lot of separation too. And what I mean by that is, wedding DJs look down on club DJs because the club DJs and they don't know how to speak on the microphone or how to do the business side of things. Club DJs look down on wedding DJs because they're playing, popular music. It looks cheesy to them, whatever. Right. And then you got your underground rave DJs who look down on both of these because one is playing really popular music at weddings. The other one is playing music that everyone knows that you hear on the radio, and they're doing their own thing. But I feel like to be really successful in this business, you need to be able to adapt to all of those, like all of those, and be able to do all of those pretty much. And that's a big observation I've made, something I want to teach in my course, that if weddings are not your thing, that's cool, but you're missing out on a huge experience to learn how to be a better entertainer, a better MC, a better speaker, teaching a wedding DJ that them missing out on club DJs, they might look down on it, but they're missing out on how to, mix really quick, how to entertain younger people, how to, pretty much entertain younger people and teach the underground scene that it's not just playing, popular music that everyone knows. There's a huge science behind it. Everything from, like I just said, speaking on a microphone, engaging a crowd, controlling a crowd with your voice or music, and not just focusing on the music, which is cool. If that's what you like doing, so be it. But that's something I want to teach in my course, to being able to adapt to all these areas of DJing, and also to excel and learn how to do all of them and be successful at them. Because like I said, all these different different sectors are all, I feel they're all separated. And I feel like anyone that's trying to make a living out of freelancing doing this needs to learn how to do all three of these.
Exactly, because I mean the way that you explain the integration between the three and the advantages of learning how to be among each of them, or how to be a DJ in each of these spaces that you describe, is extremely thorough and very, very attuned to how you can get a competitive advantage out of diversifying the market sector that you share,
Right.
that you target. So there's definitely a lot of insight there about how, like, what the talents of a club DJ are, and how to how you can incorporate those things, because there's definitely a way where club DJ or an underground DJ is more of a tastemaker. You might have wedding clients
Correct.
that specifically want they want it to sound like they're at the club, or they want
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've even I've seen, like, couples that are both DJs, where they have turntables set up, and that's part of the entertainment that they provide. So there's a lot of personalization, a lot of personal taste that goes into being a wedding DJ, to being a really good one, where you can leverage skills from being a club DJ and leverage skills from performing to the underground, because of that taste making element, for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a huge advantage to the rest of the wedding industry, I guess, because a lot of wedding DJs, they just, I don't know, they stick to their top 100s, and they know that's gonna work because that's music that everyone knows. But if you started from a tastemaker, you started as a tastemaker, you can cater to these, I don't know, these people with a more interested taste in music, I guess. So yeah, you can cater if they like, let's say, drum and bass or something, and they want drum and bass at their wedding. You know exactly what they're talking about, pretty much, versus some other guy that just only knows how to play, Bruno Mars or Michael Jackson for 4 hours or something,
Yeah.
So it's exactly what you just said. It's a huge advantage to know how to be a tastemaker, but also how to be this more business oriented, playing the really popular hits. It's a huge advantage.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And just thinking a bit about our conversation as a whole, and how how you sort of progressed in your own journey from DJing more casually because there was an opportunity and you knew how to mix equipment, to building up to having your own business where you're doing this full time, and working for clients, and working for, it sounds like, a high enough volume of clients so you can really make useful judgments about how to be competitive in each of these spaces.
Correct. Yes.
So I think that definitely it's worth revisiting. How you, I guess, when did you know that you would cross the threshold from rave DJ to to being a more like a professional DJ or a club DJ? What were the threshold moments for you?
I think around 2015 maybe. I was playing at some place in Philly, and Mr. Greg Holman,
Right.
he saw me play, and he was like, who is this guy? And from there I became friends with him. And he asked me one day, do you want to do a private event? And I told him, yeah, dude, I just literally got into the private events sector, that section, about a year ago, and I'm struggling pretty much. I'm not sure how to land more business. I've only done a few weddings under my belt, and he I don't know, he took interest in me, I guess, and he showed me how to. He took me to a few gigs, gave me a few gigs, and he introduced me to this world, and he showed me how to how to be good at it, I guess.
Right.
And from there, I've met other people in the industry, and I've learned from them. Everything from seeing how they work the mic to how they ran business to crazy ideas they had. And I feel like I reached that rave DJ to professional DJ when I did like my first wedding, like back in like 2014, I think, or 13. I haven't been doing weddings a lot, but I did like in that from 2013 to now, I've, studied my ass off. I, took a lot of courses, a lot of business coaches. I've mentors like Greg and a few others. So I took a huge interest in it, and I've learned a lot in that short amount of time. And yeah, I feel like that's what transitioned me from a rave DJ to a professional DJ. Just learning how to interact with people, how to talk with more people. Because before 2014, I was a pretty shy person too. Like I was like a completely different person, I think. So yeah, just meeting Greg and a few other key players in this whole state or this whole tri-state area, really. Talking to them, meeting them, seeing how their business ran, and just them sharing their knowledge with me. I think that was a big, a key thing to my development, I guess. Yeah, Greg, I thank Greg for a lot, actually. Like that, he knows what he's doing in this business, and he's a wealth of education and knowledge, and he's not doesn't like to hide it for himself. He appreciates when you work for him hard or good, and he's willing to share his information with you.
Yeah, I definitely I remember serving on the panel with him, you, and Linda Lee.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in 2016. That was a really good time. And yeah, I recall that he's a very strong depth of knowledge about the live events industry and some other just a lot to say about working in entertainment and in sound reinforcement and event production, especially at a level of not necessarily festivals, definitely larger events like weddings and parties and that kind of thing.
Correct.
I may get in touch with them. Based on your glowing recommendation, I may get in touch with them about an interview as well.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, absolutely.
That would be cool too. To also, that way you both would have like some materials you could cross promote each other or cross reference each other. Does he also do any coaching, or is that do you know?
Not in the sense that I'm trying to aim for it. I guess, but he does do. He has been in panels, and I think he was in some panel up north. I think they did it every month or every week where they teach less experienced DJs how to run a business. So if you do get him on this, it'd be interesting to get his opinion, because you're getting a freelancer's opinion versus him. That's an actual business owner. He has a model. He has people working for him. He has that's you're gonna get a view from a multi-op owner, pretty much, if you get him on this.
Yeah, that would be, like, I think you, because, personally, I wasn't totally clear on the differences between a freelance DJ and a multi-op owner who, does these sort of, like you said, with the mobile DJs, they book and coordinate and do a lot of that side of the event production. I will, I definitely will get in touch with them. I think that, that's definitely a wise idea. And the way that you tie it, the way that it makes sense with what you provide specifically as a mentor coach, is this perspective of really being a freelance DJ where, like you said, you can perform, you could rock a 200-person wedding. You're still playing at Bally's every Monday, right?
Every Monday, City? Correct. Yeah, till the summer's over, pretty much.
Nice.
I'm thankful for that, because right now during COVID, I'm like one of the few DJs that has the opportunity to work. Like, there's not many gigs right now for any of us, really, but to have the ability to work right now, even if it's just 4 gigs per week, it's a blessing pretty much right now.
Definitely, for sure. Completely agreed. I guess, I feel like we've covered a lot of what what we purported to, talking about events, talking about your role in the entertainment industry, your perspective. I feel like I wanted to ask you if you had any other insights for people, especially in music or event production, that are looking to start their own businesses. Although, we covered this at length, but if you have any closing thoughts about that, for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The biggest thing is, like, I guess this goes for any field, I guess, but just focus a lot on self-education.
Right.
Everything from reading as many books as you can, taking as many courses, getting as many mentors as you can. I feel like that's what helped me go from like here to like here in like such a short amount of time.
Right.
I took a big interest into self-education. Like before, like I said, before 2014, I probably read like one book a year maybe.
Yeah.
Versus now I'm like reading, I don't know, like good 80 a year, maybe more than that.
Nice.
So just anyone looking to get more into this field, just practice a lot, educate yourself a ton, get some mentors, see what people do right, see what people do wrong, and just learn from other people's mistakes too. That's the biggest advice I can give everyone. Self-education, pretty much. Get some coaches, read some books, and take it from there.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. I feel like that's such a relevant, inspiring, and I have followed your every so often you'll post about how much you've been reading, and I'm like, Dre is the man. He's just getting all this reading done. He's like clearly like benefited a lot. So it's definitely really exciting to it's really always exciting to hear from you. Always happy to see you grow and change. And I totally agree. I think that is the biggest change you can make today is, educating yourself and making moves to, gain more knowledge and act on that knowledge for sure.
Correct.
Dre, so I know that you're super active on social media, and, you have a number of different channels through which we can do this, but how do we get in touch with you? Because I'm sure, part of the small business series objectives is to help generate more business for you so that, if somebody needs a DJ or a lighting guy or, event producer, whatever, they can give you a call.
Correct. So you can visit my website. It's www.djdreovalle.com, or you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, LinkedIn, pretty much anything. Just search DJ Dre Ovalle, and I made it easy so anyone can search for me pretty much. Yeah, just search DJ Dre Ovalle, and I'm literally on anything pretty much.
Awesome. All right. Well, we'll definitely bear that in mind, and I'll make sure to get all of your pages so that we can cross-link to everything.
Okay.
In our newsletter and on our social media feed, for sure. So if there's do you have any sort of closing advice or anything, before we conclude the interview?
No, just the last thing I just said, just self-education. Focus on that, and you'll do fine in this business, I guess. And self-education.
All right. Yeah. Well, great. Thank you so much again, Dre. This is a really wonderful conversation, wonderful opportunity, and we will definitely hear from you soon.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thanks again.